The ultimate goal of communism. Remember how communism started? It was created, nurtured, and supported by the Illuminati as an opposing political ideology in order to achieve their goals. There is certainly enough evidence to indicate massive collusion, but as far as being controlled by the Illuminati, here is what Gary Allen wrote in his book None Dare Call It Conspiracy, indicative of this strange event which occurred in October of 1964. David Rockefeller, president of the Chase Manhattan Bank and chairman of the board of the Council on Foreign Relations, took a vacation in the Soviet Union. This is a peculiar place for the world's greatest imperialist to take his vacation, since much of the communist propaganda deals with taking all of David's wealth away from him and distributing it to the people. A few days after Rockefeller ended his vacation in the Kremlin, Nikita Khrushchev was recalled from a vacation at a Black Sea resort to learn that he had been fired. How strange. As far as the world knew, Khrushchev was the absolute dictator of the Soviet government and, more important, head of the Communist Party which runs the USSR. Who has the power to fire the man who was supposedly the absolute dictator? Did David Rockefeller journey to the Soviet Union to fire an employee? Obviously the position of premier in the Soviet Union is a figurehead with the true power residing elsewhere. Perhaps in New York. Rockefeller had just opened a Hong Kong branch of the Chase Manhattan for trade with China, but since trade relations had broken off between Russia and China, because of an overbearing Khrushchev, Rockefeller got rid of the problem in order to stabilize the situation. He later formed the National Council for U.S. Red China Trade, with Gabriel Hauge, Manufacturers Hanover Trust, W. M. Blumenthal, Bendix Corporation, John W. Hanley, Monsanto Chemicals, Donald Burnham, Westinghouse Electric, Thorne & Wilson, Boeing Aircraft, William Hewitt, Deere & Company, and Lucien Pye, Massachusetts Institute of Technology. In the Communist Manifesto, Karl Marx wrote about the abolition of private property, a progressive income tax, a central bank, and state control of the family, religion, and education, which are all aspects of a socialist government, the prelude to the utopian goal of communism. Yet, they are part of our own political system, which has led to the convergence theory. The theory is, that while the Soviets would slowly move to the political right, the United States would be pushed to the left, with the two meeting in the middle as social democrats. And from there, it would only a small step to a socialist one-world government, or the New World Order. Norman Thomas, 1884 to 1968, known as the Conscience of America, who ran for president 6 times as a candidate of the Socialist Party, said, "The American people will never knowingly adopt socialism. But, under the name of liberalism, they will adopt every fragment of the socialist program, until one day America will be a socialist nation, without knowing how it happened." In a February 6, 1994 speech to leaders of the group United We Stand, H. Ross Perot said, "I think we may be the only great country in the world moving toward great socialism." It is apparent that the Russian Federation will continue to abolish the use of the word communism in lieu of the word socialism, in order to gain the acceptance of Western Europe. The 1990 Communist Congress stated, "The USSR is in a transition from a unitary state to a friendship of nations." They will be brought into future collectivist security agreements, as protection against third world dictators and terrorism. The amplification of these agreements are what the United Nations has long sought, a global reactionary force made up of American, Russian, European and third world troops.